Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and I'm here to review Till, and this is the new drama based off of the true events of the murder of young Emmett Till and the aftermath of his mother, Mamie Till Mobley, taking steps to try to make sure things like this never happen again. And I knew a decent amount about this particular story, mostly because my wife, she's into all kinds of like history and stuff like that. And going into this story, you know, the expectation is like this is the Emmett Till story, but it really isn't. And I think this film is better off for that, because within the first like 20 some odd minutes of the film, you see Emmett Till's story. You see from start to finish, and it doesn't glorify the violence against a young black man either. It's like it shows you just enough for you to understand the weight of what happened, but it isn't like throwing out like torture porn there for us to just sit there and watch this young man being tortured to death. But this film starts off very strongly with the connection between Mamie and her son Bo, which is what she called Emmett Till. And you have this dynamic between Danielle Deadwyler, who is absolutely fantastic as Mamie, who anchors this film, carries this film with all of her emotion. And then Jalen Hall, who plays Emmett, is so great. He is such a spark on screen, and you fall for them as a mother-son relationship so quickly. And that's what makes it so much more tragic when the events of what happened occur. And you have Chinonye Chukwu, who is the director of this film, who previously had done the film Clemency, which that is a hard watch. That is a dark and unnerving experience. This has a bit more light to it, especially even how it's shot. Like, from the beginning, this is like bright 1955, has tons of music in it, and that's a great part. The production design, the costume design, all of that art direction really works and really engrosses you in this time period. But it sets up this relationship, and then the whole rest of the film really is dealing with grief and the greater context of what one young man's death can mean for all of society. And, you know, at the end you get your little text things of like, this is what happened, and this is how long it took for them to finally do something, which, spoiler alert, was decades, and like just resolved this year. And that's one of the most tragic things, is like all the efforts that this woman, and Deadwyler delivers so many great acted moments throughout this film, all what she did and how much it took more to get something like this to happen. And, you know, it deals with Emmett's kidnapping and murder. It deals with the aftermath of trying to pass this anti-lynching legislation. But there's a lot of moments where Deadwyler gets a shine, Hall did. There's a lot of actors in this film, like even like Whoopi Goldberg, who plays Mamie's mother, that get a chance to shine. And there's definitely some moments that are really hard to watch from an emotional standpoint. But you know what? Deadwyler is carrying all those scenes with her performance, and Chukwu is doing such a great job directing this film. There's some specific directorial choices that feel really engrossing and get you lost in the emotion of the moment that make it that much more impactful. You know, this still comes off feeling like, here's your beat-by-beat narrative type historical drama story. It feels like Wikipedia ripped from the page, except lathered in so much emotion that really does work. And this is a moving film. I think it's an inspiring film with how, like, the latter parts of this film and trying to make a difference in society. But it is a story that, if you don't know about it, I feel like you should definitely check it out. On some level, if you know all about this, and you're not really going to learn much from it, but at least you'll have that emotional ride, which there's plenty of emotion here, so I really do think it's a worthwhile watch. But those are a hard watch, but worthwhile. But those are my thoughts on Till. Let me know what you think, and let's talk some movies. But thank you as always for tuning in and supporting your Wasteland reviewer.